Welcome to the Sophomore Tea. I am Cal Borst. I'm a resident director here at Central Connecticut State University. I recently graduated in December of 2022. I'm here with Amari. Introduce yourself.
I'm man here. Hey, my name is Amari. I'm a senior here at Central. I major in robotics engineering. I'm an RA here, and I love it. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we're here, man. This is...
Yeah, I know. This is special. We're here in the studio. This is very cool. And yeah, today we're going to be talking about specifically what they don't tell you about college and what you won't necessarily hear about going into college and the kind of experience that you're going to have here. And so I kind of wanted to open up to you. We're gonna bounce around this topic today. Yeah. It's the first episode. We're really excited to get into this, and I think we're gonna have a really great conversation about just this area, because I really do think there's a lot of people out there that don't necessarily, based on whether it's stereotypes, social media, just what they've heard from their experience throughout their years coming up into college, or whether they're in college, they don't necessarily know what it's like until they're in it. And even if they are in it, they might still not have an idea of how great it can be. Mm-hmm. So what about the college experience or at least in your own experience, have you not necessarily heard or along those lines?
One of the things that I feel like that was just huge was how really independent you are. Especially going from high school straight to college. From my memory, whenever we were in class, it was just, hey, you gotta lock in because you get to college and this isn't gonna slide. I get here and it's just in reality, I could really just never go to class and almost nothing would happen. Yep. And it's really insane, and sometimes it's scary too, because me personally, I had my parents just always hold my hand throughout life, or guidance counselors or things such as that. And I finally get here and I'm like, dude, what is happening? What is happening? It's scary. It's terrifying at times, but I mean, you gotta kind of just figure it out and see that hey, this is the real world. And it's crazy because I'm just a senior now. I'm another year and I'm out of here. It's that can be terrifying. Even now, just talking about it, it's just what's gonna happen?
So coming into college, when you first, as a freshman, did you live here as a freshman?
I did.
Okay, so when you noticed that first kind of step of, I guess you could say, freedom or independence, right? What was that like for you, and what was the difference between, I guess you could say, your early years in high school, where you were kind of more in a curriculum where you were in school all day, right, versus where it's on your own now, and now it's up to you, and like you said, you have to be independent, you have to manage your time correctly, you have to be organized and make sure you're doing all your necessary responsibilities. What was that transition like, and how did you manage that transition?
Honestly, at first, it was great. I was the only child growing up, so I kind of always did my own thing. And hindsight, it was cool. Mm-hmm. I was really a bum. And I'm a COVID kid, I was 2020. I just kind of would just sit around and wouldn't really do much. I kind of was just going with the flow. And I feel like everyone at that time, sorry, a little dehydrated. I feel like everybody at that time was kind of just going with the flow, and it didn't really hit me until I got to my junior year, where I was this time where I was just kind of dilly-dallying, playing video games and all that stuff. I should have been locking in. Yeah.
So it was really into your junior year where you realized you had to I would say get your stuff together. So those first 2 years was kind of a transition period.
I feel like,
I know COVID was going on, but
So what happened was COVID. I was here freshman year, and I just kind of was just soaking it all in. I didn't really have any first impressions. It was kind of this is just what it is, I guess. And then sophomore year came, and it blasted me, man. I switched over to commuting, and it was just the workload was just tough, and it just kept going. And then near the end of sophomore year, we kind of I get to talk with my advisor, and then the word internship, it gets thrown at me. I'm like, oh. What is that? What's going on? And that's another thing I feel isn't really highlighted enough. The importance of internship. At the end of the day, you can get A's in your geology class, in your English, your European witchcraft, whatever. That's even a class. I feel you can get A's on that, but it's really about the experience you get out there.
So would you say the experience in terms of of an internship? Like that's specifically what
I feel like that should be like highlighted even more. Like it's kind of just like, especially in high school, it's just like grades, and those are important, but like
the real world experience is what
it's like I can pass all these classes.
Yeah.
I can get out.
But the transition to the real world is
I can get out in the field and be like, well, what am I doing? And that's
it's a whole different
It's especially in the engineering. Like it's just math and that's what the major is. It's just math and math. But like reality, like you get out there, you hands on, you're building stuff, you turning and things.
And I agree with you completely because I think, at least for me, like I was a philosophy major, right? And just
philosophy.
I was, yeah. And I know. I'm a resident director now, and so the transition to like that isn't necessarily a parallel path, right? You don't like become a philosophy major to become a resident director. But like you said, like I think one of the great things about being here at Central and just like on campus is like you said, a lot of people come into college and they have that kind of high school class, just like I go to class, right? I'm doing the right thing, but oftentimes they don't see that kind of additional experience that they need. And so there's so many different, I guess you could say, clubs, opportunities, jobs here on campus where they can, I mean, it's different for each field and different for each industry, where they really can gain that experience as, say, a worker, as, say, an individual to help build their skills, traits, and characteristics to translate to, I guess you could say, the real world or beyond college or in their career path. And I think specifically for me, like I remember when I was a philosophy major, like they don't have any specific concrete internships that are like laid out for philosophy. But like I would get involved in places like Rec Central here or becoming an RA and all these different types of things. And that's what really allowed me, in addition to school, to kind of indirectly get me in this spot right here, right now. So, I mean, I think do you think school's kind of been like a medium for you to kind of like transform yourself to help you gain that real world experience? I know it's different from an internship, but would you say it has?
Cal, you were meant for this, man. Yeah, you were meant for this, man. I'm saying like, this dude's so cool, man.
You're very cool too, man.
Yeah, especially I feel like nowadays, like I feel like college is kind of like shamed upon now because it's like, hey, why even go there? You know, you could just become a realtor and just take a test and become a realtor and make serious cheddar. Or just go pick up a trade, you know, and become an electrician. And that's true, but I think what people don't realize is how powerful it can be when you go to college. Like how powerful, like there are its downs, but like, dude, just going and meeting people, meeting connections, because connections will take you to a whole other place. Even earlier this year, I really didn't know what I was doing. I kind of was just going and then doing whatever. And then like I finally started like meeting and talking to people in my major, and like it really like it showed a whole part of college, specifically for my major, that I was just missing. And once you make those connections, it's just like now you really feel like I'm on a path. I feel like
you have a vision now.
Yeah. Like before, it was just kind of cloudy, you know. I could see what was in front of me, but like right in front of me, but like far out, I was like,
So once you started to get involved in things, that's when you started to develop a better kind of idea of where you wanted to go.
And that's what it is. Man. Because like you have to come here and you have to get involved.
Because I mean, if you just sit in your room for a majority of the time, like you can do that. Yeah, you could probably have a good time and just go to classes, but I think you're just missing out on so much. There's so much here, and of course, like you're not if you intentionally don't expose yourself to those things, you're not going to be taking in that information, and you're not going to be aware of it. And so, on that basis, you're just going to believe that I've experienced this sometimes where you don't think there's anything outside of you going on when that's just not the case. And so I think in addition to people reaching out to you, you have to just be like, just honestly, just take some accountability and just get involved yourself. There's so many different things, and there's something for everyone here.
You've got to, man. Yeah. You just have to get involved. And I feel like I'm a perfect person to just speak on that, because I was just like that. I was just sitting on my butt, playing Call of Duty. Man, it's so important to go out there and get involved, like, and not even just for like fun things, like this develops character. Like you learn how to speak, you learn all types of different things.
It's the foundation for you.
I'm an RA now. Like, if you would have told me I was gonna be an RA like my first year, I'm like, man, I don't feel like dealing with all that. Like, even my first year, I would just walk by them and like whatever. I couldn't see myself doing that.
But
like when I got involved as an RA, it was just like, dude, this is a whole nother thing. Like you just meet so many different, and we're not even like.
Because how many of your closest friends are RAs?
dude, I mean, I love all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I never would have thought becoming an RA, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be introduced to all these new people, but I don't think I would really know them, right? Because I'm like, I would probably be involved with my small staff and like, yeah, we'll see each other now and then. But I remember why I was an RA for about 2.5 years, and by the end of those 2.5 years, all my closest friends were RAs. Of course, I had my additional friend group from like freshman year, but it's crazy how, having that forced obligation to, for instance, be on duty at nighttime or to do different res life events or, to have a job here on campus, how when you're forced to spend time together, how you bond with people and how you get so much more purpose in being here and being on this campus. And then, like you said, you develop so many traits. Like I think as an RA, we're doing so many different things. You're in programming, you're in crisis management, you're in leadership roles, right? You're learning how to manage things, right? And it's just, and that goes for all jobs. Like I know there's area supervisor positions at Rec Central, there's great manager positions at the Student Center, and then also other campus offices too that really allow you to develop the foundation for your career and onto like the future. And I know it's indirectly got me into this position now, and it's like, although we may be dealing with a ton of difficult things on a regular basis. I'm sure. I remember that one night in James that we had. I was there for until 3 a.m. But indirectly, I look back on that and I'm so grateful because that is what's going to allow me to, at least I feel, be able to do things that are difficult in the future because I have that experience. And like you said, if you get involved, you start to gain that experience, start to gain that vision, and it really just allows you to lay down the foundation for the rest of your career.
Yeah, man, because college is hard, man. College is hard.
It is,
and
man.
if you can go out and meet people that can just help you tug through that, it's gonna go a long way. Especially the RAs, dude, I don't know where I would be without them, man. Especially my man Ryan. Shout out Ryan.
Ryan El Virgo.
Ryan's dope. Ryan's dope. That's my brother, man. And yeah, it's just it helps so much. Not even just a physical sense, but a mental sense. Just knowing that I got those connections that always got my back. It's really clutch.
Yeah. And so when you say college is tough, do you think? Because college is tough from both an educational aspect but also I think a big part of it, like we've been talking about, is that kind of whole social aspect too. Because I know there's many residents, there's many commuters that and we're predominantly a commuter-based campus, and there's different initiatives going on to try to get everyone to feel like they have a place here on campus. But I think a lot of people have that, even specifically sophomores, specifically making that jump to junior year, where it's you start to get to that point where you got to, I don't want to say concretely figure out what you need to do when you graduate, but you get to start to put those final things into place. Do you feel like that tough? Do you feel like it's more so socially or educationally, that tough part? Or is it a mixture of both, 50-50 or something else that I didn't say?
I mean, I feel like educationally,
it's definitely tough for sure. Engineering stuff. Yeah,
no. I'm saying education is gonna be tough. For sure, I mean, unless you're doing something, I don't know. Yeah. Something easy, I guess. But socially is huge. Socially is huge because it's just after this, it's the real world. Yeah, you may not even meet as many people as you will now in college. You might just go sit behind a desk all day. You don't even know that. You don't even know. And I feel there should be some kind of class or something we take because, especially now, with how COVID smacks us even to this day. It's not even as big as it was, but in the way the impact socially.
Oh, for sure.
Insane. For sure. Yeah. Insane. And being an RA, you see the backlash of that crazy. Especially with the newer college students, it's just dude, what is going on? It's so important that this stuff is just taught.
Yeah. So when you say the impact of COVID, what do you exactly mean? What have you noticed? A few things.
I just feel people. I mean, we went an entire year without really doing anything.
Exactly.
People.
Campus was a lot of
inside,
things,
not really catching a vibe with nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And community,
and luckily, I feel I think I'm doing okay. I
think you're doing pretty well.
I feel I'm doing okay. I just feel it took a toll on a lot of people.
For sure.
And they don't even know it. They don't even know it. It's just when I talk to some residents, I'm cool with a bunch of my residents. I'm cool with everybody. Yeah. And there's some that I'm just how can you talk to another human being like this? It's super. I can go on days about that. But that's let me digress. Yeah. I feel man, socially it's so important.
Yeah. So because at least in my opinion, I think because I became an RA because I was a freshman in Seth North before COVID started, right? And then obviously COVID happened. We were online for that spring semester, and then the following 2 years, I believe, that's when I was an RA I think it was like midway through spring semester last year is when they
how
lift.
long ago was this? How can you
Like,
forget?
no, the mask
you're
mandate.
older than
No, the mask mandate or whatever. So I was like, I'm just saying, like when it was COVID times versus like when it was starting to get back to normal, like at how it is now. I just remember campus did not feel the same. Like it didn't. And, like that's not to say like that was central or anything like that. But, I mean, that was just the climate of the world that like we were going through. And I think, like you said, it definitely had a big impact on. I know it had a big impact on me because it led me to stay in my room more often. It led me to not want to go out to as many social events and to even be able to put on social events. So I think in a large aspect for a lot of students, like that's what they believe just college became, right? And that's the norm that they started to see. And I think when a lot of, at least from what I talked to and a lot of students that I in my own experience, when they started to experience just normal college, they were like, oh my God, this is amazing. I love this. All these great social events, all these great activities I can get involved in. I can have class in person. Like I remember, you would never think that like class in person was such a valuable thing.
Oh man, I would take class in person
exactly.
over online. I get it. Like I get it online. It's just, you just submit something and that's what it is.
It's convenient, But.
I mean, maybe my first couple of years when I'm just doing like personal finance or whatever, but like, especially when I'm like really digging into my major, like I want to be in there. I want to be in there. I want to like meet people and make those, like back what I was saying before, just meeting those connections. It's great, But back to that, like, dude, it's tough and people don't talk about it enough. And back to the main topic, like it's something that isn't like taught about enough about college. Just like how it can affect you mentally, man. Can we dig into that?
Yeah, man.
Like, it's such a deep topic. I'm not. I wouldn't consider myself a super emotional person, but I know for a fact, like I've had my ups and my downs, and it's tough. And there isn't really like I don't really know how they're doing it now, but back when I was in school, there isn't like no stress management class. There isn't no like mental health class. Like, it's tough. It may be like touched upon. It may be said. But there isn't. I don't feel like it's as serious as it is.
I think, dude, you're completely right, and I think a part of it is definitely COVID. But I think at some times, like due to COVID, maybe coping skills weren't developed, maybe things like that weren't developed. And like you said, you're going through highs, you're going through lows, right? Finals come up, a busier period where you're taking a lot of tests, you're working a lot of hours, right? You got your social life, you got your family life, you got all these different commitments. It can get really tough at times. And it can become very congested very easily. But I think a lot of times, or at least from what I've experienced, sorry. My apologies.
That was we meant to do that.
That was planned.
That's part. It says it right there. Drop microphone on the ground.
We have 3 bars still. We're good. But I think a lot of times, from what I experienced, was like, it'll get really congested and things get difficult. But what makes the difference between the people that can make it through those tough times and can, I guess, I don't want to say fold, right? But like I would say, start to, I guess, experience just kind of like, I'm not going to deal with school. I'm just going to put it to the side. I'm just going to keep playing Call of Duty, right? Like, or keep playing video.
Sounds like a vibe. Sounds like a vibe, right?
But
Fortnite.
It's so easy to toss those obligations to the side. But the people that are able to stick in those things, stick through the difficult time, and it's like, it's okay to feel those negative emotions. It's okay. And just remind yourself that this is what tough feels like. And I think resetting those expectations and understanding that, like, college isn't supposed to be easy. Like, college is supposed to challenge you, develop you, and make you into a person that you believe in, and make you into a person that you want to be. And I think so many times, like at least me, I was just like, oh my gosh, I have to write. My teacher would like send me back an essay, and I would be like, oh my God, I have to go back and edit all this. Like, and I was expecting to just get like an easy A, right? Like A's don't come easy. A social life doesn't come easy. Like you have to work for these things. And if you put the work in for these things, then you'll begin to deserve these things. And I think just, obviously we have so many resources here on campus and so many people that are willing to help you and so many great things here. But I think it's like the whole aspect of like, what do you not know about college? It's like, to me, it really comes back down to that personal accountability and just taking that first step. And then everything just kind of falls into place after that, as long as you continue on that path.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like people don't realize how important it is to like be vulnerable and like really be aware, like, hey, like, yo, time's gonna be tough and maybe you do get that F or something, but learn how to kind of just cope with that and learn from it. I think that's super important. Even myself, like I know when I do something, I do something 100%. Like I love that, man. I'm all about it. And to see me fail sometimes, or especially for things that like I really enjoy or I really take a lot of pride in, like it hurts. It sucks. It really does suck. But like you need to kind of just dig deep and kind of move past that, because there's so much more positive things on the way, and you don't even know it. Like, yeah, I'm glad we touched on that.
No, it's so true, because like if you get sometimes, like when you get an F, or if you make a mistake at work, I know, and I'm sure you experience this a lot, you get really hard on yourself. You're like, why did I do that? How did I let this happen? And like at that point, it's like it's in the past, right? And it's like, of course, would we love to have a magical time machine and go back and do these things more? But it's like, what you do now will affect you in the future, right? So it's like, if you have all these assignments, if you have all these things, and how you prioritize your time is kind of more geared towards what you just like find pleasurable, like, just hanging out with friends too much, or not doing homework, or whatever that is, right? If you're not managing your time correctly, that's going to have certain consequences. And I think, especially as a sophomore, right? Like I think especially what they don't tell you about college is like how great it can be to help you develop time management and organization skills.
Yo, that's so important. Oh my gosh.
Because I attribute all, like, I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means, but I think I definitely have been able to. This is the place where I really learned how to do that, because I remember I'll be like, oh my God, I have to get this done. I have to get this done. And like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, it has to get done. Yeah. And so if you manage your time correctly, if you manage all these things correctly, you won't have this huge pile of assignments, obligations, and things like that to get done. You'll be able to just take baby steps and, get through it over time, step by step, brick by brick. Yeah. And over time, you'll eventually conquer all those tasks and obligations.
Bro, time management is so important, man. And I'm the king of last minute doing. I feel like when I do stuff and there's like a day left, I feel like I get like a +10 on all my stats on everything. And it feels great when it's done, but like in those few assignments where I have I got some time, let me just hop on this, and it's like, it's so rewarding to get it done early. And there have been times where I've done it a day early, or like I was like, hey, this assignment isn't hard, I'm gonna do it a day early. And then, I'm playing my games, I'm going out with friends, I get back, I go do the assignment, I'm like, damn, this is a lot harder, this is a lot tougher, and I wouldn't even know that. And if I would've just like managed my time better and planned around the school and learned how to balance my life like that, like, things will come so much easier. It's actually insane.
Just like stop procrastinating. Stop.
Don't say that word. Don't say that.
I think we all have it in some aspect, but it's so much easier to just like toss it off to the side. It's like, oh, I'll get this done tomorrow. I'll get this done tomorrow.
I'm so aware of it.
Tomorrow comes. Yeah.
I'm so aware of how bad I procrastinate.
I know. Everyone knows though.
And like I'm talking about even like the small, like if I'm about to go to bed.
That's good though, man.
If I go to bed, say I want to go to bed at 11, right? And I get into bed at like 11:02. I'll be like, now I'm gonna stay until like 11:15. I'm gonna round down an even, a little even thing, all right? And then I'm like, it's 11:15. Let's just thug it out to 11:30. And it's like that. And I know so many people do
Remember
that.
Remember the powerlifting meet when you stayed up until? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dude.
So we're a real quick story. We have about a minute and 50 seconds left. So real quick story.
Speed. I'm gonna find
we both had a powerlifting meet last year around March, and I remember we both had to wake up at like 4 a.m. Amari and I are gonna drive there together, and I get in the car, it's like 4 a.m. with Amari. Amari gets in, he's like, dude, I didn't sleep all night. He's just like, I forget what game you're playing.
I played Elden Ring.
Yeah, you played Elden Ring.
Good game. Ain't one game of the year. You can't have it.
He was saying, he's like, oh, I'll just stay up a little bit longer. He's like, this game's too much fun. I'm gonna stay up all night. And so,
to be fair, that wasn't even just a.
I think
that was like this was my first meet. That was I'm terrified for tomorrow.
That's fair.
That's a good example. Yeah.
No, exactly. But So anything else you wanted to share on the topic while we still have the time?
Man, like
last messages, last thoughts.
Last thought. Listen, college is a big step, and you're gonna go to times that are tough, but just know, like, hey, there's people here for you. There's no reason why you should go and do this alone, man. Just take care of yourself.
Yep. Take care of yourself. I would say take accountability and really just take that first step forward to really get involved. So that has been the first episode of the Sophomore Tea. Once again, I'm your host, Cal Borst, along with my other host, Amari.
Amari.
We'll see you guys in episode 2. Thank you so much for watching.
Love ya.